Hey mamas, it's Kristen Noel, founder of the Intuitive Divorce. I recently had a session with a client and I wanted to just come on here and unpack a little bit of what got discussed in this session because I think it's really relevant to all mamas who are navigating divorce. Now, look, when we think of divorce, there are the obvious things that come to mind. Running out and hiring a shark of an attorney, or getting a financial advisor, or hiring a co-parenting counselor. And while all of that may be true and may be a part of your divorce, what we don't necessarily think about right away is the condition that we're going to be in as we're divorcing. And we don't necessarily think about, do we set healthy boundaries? Do we know how to consciously communicate? Do we know how to regulate our nervous system? And do we even have the capacity to deal with that right now, here in the mess of it all? And we think that maybe that's something I'll get to later on. The bottom line is, right now, you're going to have to show up for a lot. There are a lot of big decisions to make. There are going to be a lot of tough conversations to have. There are going to be a lot of triggering experiences, whether that's with your ex, or maybe that's questions that your kids are posing. And maybe you're even noticing how they're behaving and that they're reacting to certain things. It's a lot because this is a net that's cast over the entire landscape of your life. So, whatever you can do in this moment to receive support and nurturing for yourself is directly going to impact the condition of your outcomes and how your children are going to get through this and what your future is going to look like. Not to mention, how are you going to feel as you are navigating this? No one is expecting you to know how to do this. So, getting back to my client in this conversation, I can always see when the wheels are really turning and constructs that we're unpacking in our coaching, when they're really starting to connect, the dots are connecting and the light bulbs are popping. And it doesn't happen overnight because guess what? This sort of self-abandonment or this denial of our own feelings or making room for ourselves didn't happen overnight. So it might take a little time, and that's okay. But when it starts to happen, it doesn't stop. And it's a beautiful thing to witness. And it just starts gently. It starts in this moment. It starts with just leaning in and saying, you know what? I want to divorce differently. I want to live differently. I want to be differently. I want to be my best self. And it really begins with getting quiet, creating some space for self, feeling your feelings, and really just being self-aware. What is it that's coming up? What is it that's triggering me? What is it that I'm feeling? And I always encourage women not to come at this from a place of judgment or guilt or shame or blame, but rather from curiosity. What is it that I'm seeing now? Maybe it's frustrating me. Maybe it's icky. Maybe I'm embarrassed by it. Okay, so do something about it. What can I do about it? It starts with seeing it. So, this particular mama, right before we got on our session, she'd sent me a text, and I had been speaking to her the week before about really checking in. I really encourage mothers to give themselves the space to just have these little daily check-ins with, how am I feeling? What am I needing in this moment? And what am I committing to? Very, very quick. And you can delve into that as much as you want. You could journal on it. You could go for a run and think about it. You could sit in meditation about it, or you could literally just do it in seconds in the shower. But what was starting to come up for this one woman was that she was realizing right before a session, she sent me a text about three things that were triggering her that day. And she was kind of sending that off to me and felt like, oh, I'm just bitching, three things that were triggering me. And I was like, she got into that session and I couldn't have applauded her more. And the reason I was applauding her is I was like, look, well, look what you're doing. Look what you're doing here. You're very aware of what is happening and that it's triggering you. That's a big discovery. You don't have to know what to do with it, and we're going to unpack it now. And we literally in that session, we went one, two, three, and we unpacked it. And she told me a little bit of the background story, and I just sat there and I listened to her. And very quickly, I realized that there was a theme. And the theme was that in all three of these scenarios, and they were very different scenarios. One was something to do with work, one was something to do with home, one was something to do with a lawyer. So there were three different silos of her life, but there was a commonality. There was a theme and a thread that connected them, and that was finding her voice. And within finding her voice, it was like learning a new way to communicate effectively and firmly and consciously so that she could say what needed to be said and feel good about how she said it. Doesn't mean that everybody's going to like what she said, but she didn't say it like a ranting lunatic. She's learned to become the calmest woman in the room. And she learned to say what she needed to say without a lot of editorializing, without a lot of triggering jabs, without fighting, without getting hysterical, without expending a lot of energy. It's such a valuable, valuable tool. This is about setting your own boundaries. It's about holding your own boundaries. It's about communicating effectively and consciously. And it's about avoiding creating more chaos. And that is one of the many, many tools that we work with mamas on so that they can avoid another runaway train because it's so easy to derail when you are exhausted and depleted and triggered and in the middle of the divorce. So I'm just popping in here to let you know that I hope that you are reaching out for some kind of support for yourself, just for you. Because you know what? You are the foundation of this divorce. You are the one that is going to keep your side of the street clean. You are going to keep your kids out of the chaos. And this is going to put you on a better path to a better divorce, an intuitive divorce. And I promise you, the mothers that are doing this are divorcing smarter, they are healing faster, they are protecting their kids. And you know what? They are reclaiming their lives as they go. So I just wanted to pop in and share a little bit of that with you today. And I want you to know that you are not alone and you don't have to be alone. And please check us out at intuitivedivorce.com. We are here if you are ready to have somebody walk beside you.